Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley over there. Emmanuel Acho.
Brother.
My man, let's get it started in Kansas City. Let me get some of them ribs. Where Patrick Mahomes is headed to his fourth straight AFC Championship game on Sunday. And some would say he's done it in a non-traditional way. A draft expert says Mahomes has changed the way he scouts the quarterback position, adding, quote, Mahomes is ultimately in a class of his own, and quarterbacks like him don't come around often. So, Acho, has Patrick Mahomes redefined the quarterback position?
He absolutely has, Sel. You redefine something when you change the way you look at it or when you change what you look for in it. That's redefining something. Think about it, Sel. I came to L.A., and my definition of beauty got redefined. It got redefined real quick.
From Bristol?
From Austin, definitely from Bristol, Connecticut. But from Austin, Texas, you come out to L.A.,
I get you that.
It gets redefined because it changes what you look at and it changes what you look for. Your standards of beauty were now expanded. My standards of beauty were now expanded.
Okay.
All of a sudden, my definition of beauty got redefined because my mind was blown as to what was the former jurisdiction of beauty. Patrick Mahomes has redefined what is beautiful for a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes has redefined what is great for a quarterback. Think about this for a second. We used to think that 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions your second year en route to a Super Bowl was great. Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, he said, okay, Tom Brady, 12 interceptions, second year, that's cool. I'm going to give you 50 touchdowns, though, en route to an NFL MVP.
Here we go.
He redefined what young greatness was like. But this is my biggest point of how Patrick Mahomes has redefined the quarterback position.
Okay.
We all know imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yes.
Chasing Patrick Mahomes has sunk one franchise and might sink another. The Green Bay Packers chased acquiring a Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Love. Everybody said, okay, Jordan Love is most near Patrick Mahomes. He can move a little bit. He got a big arm, a couple turnovers his last year in college, more than we would have liked. But what did the Packers do? While having a solidified starter at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, they traded up to try to acquire Jordan Love. What did the Chiefs do? While having a solidified starter in Alex Smith, they traded up to acquire Patrick Mahomes. That single-handed move of drafting Jordan Love has tanked the Packers franchise. Okay, let's talk 2021. Trey Lance. The only first-round pick at the quarterback position who didn't start more than 2 games this year.
One-play Trey?
One-play Trey, big dog. Only quarterback in this draft's first round that did not start more than 2 games this year.
Trey.
Who was Trey Lance most nearly compared to? Not Tom Brady, not Peyton Manning. Oh, Patrick Mahomes. But Trey Lance, again, is now going to cost potentially Jimmy Garoppolo, the same Jimmy Garoppolo that's gone to 2 NFC championships in the last 3 years.
There you go.
Only Aaron Rodgers, along with that, and Patrick Mahomes, along with that, might tank the Niners franchise. Why? Because you are chasing Patrick Mahomes. 49ers trade up, even though they have a starting quarterback in Jimmy G, to try to draft a quarterback. Packers trade up, even though they have a starting quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, to try to draft the next Patrick Mahomes, because we saw the Kansas City Chiefs trade up to draft Patrick Mahomes, even though they had a starting quarterback in Alex Smith. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Everybody is trying to acquire the next Patrick Mahomes. As a result, it's become abundantly clear that he has redefined that quarterback position because everybody's trying to chase what it looks like to be him, but there's only one him.
I disagree with you. I disrespectfully disagree with you, too. People always want to say respectfully. No, I'm disrespectfully disagreeing with you. That's how adamant I am on this one right here. Now, let me just start this off by letting you guys know my true colors and my true love for Patrick Mahomes. I'm an OG fan of Patrick Mahomes. I remember hearing about him in the offseason. He started that one game his rookie year, blah, blah, blah. That was a mail-in. All right. On his MVP campaign, you know where he started that season off? Right here in Los Angeles against my Chargers. I'm sitting there, right? And it's pregame. And I bump my wife. I always bump my wife like she's you when you're not around, right? Hey, baby, let me tell you something. Here's my take. I saw Patrick Mahomes in pregame. I said, Lord. I said, baby, he's special. I can tell you already. I know fake pregame from real pregame. He's special. He goes out there and lights us up. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I come on this show. We had a Chiefs fan as a host at that time. You know his name? Say his name. Say his name, then. All right, Jason Willock. Anyway, so I'm coming back, and I am testifying on the love of the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. I just want to get that out the way, okay?
Oh, no.
What?
You're not going to give me a minute and a half of pleasantries just to come down and slaughter Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Save your pleasantries, save your LOL at the end of the text message, and just give it straight.
I'm sorry. I'm just doing my game plan, pros and cons. Now let's talk about this conversation right here. He has not redefined anything. One part of redefining something, one of the criteria, you said something you look at differently or something that you look for differently. How about that you haven't seen it at all in the first place? So guess what? Since this is brand new, let's redefine what we used to say and see about that quarterback position. Patrick Mahomes is not brand new to this position. He's a combination of some factors, but he's not brand new to this position. Let's say this. I thought it was enough to just say Patrick Mahomes is the greatest young quarterback in NFL history. I thought that was enough props. He's insane, y'all. Enough. But stop. Y'all doing too damn much when you all of a sudden say he's redefining something. Did Mel Kiper say this? Nah, the OG would never say this. This is Todd McShay saying this, and that's my dog, McShay, Shay, right? Here's another funny thing about this. Todd McShay and Mel Kiper is like you and I. Okay. 17 years difference in age. See, the Mel Kiper, the OG, we've seen it all. And then you come out here, you young whippersnappers, never been to L.A. before, talk about redefining beauty. Poor ladies in Austin. You've never seen a fine girl in Austin? You never saw a beautiful girl in Austin?
You're so stupid.
What you're trying to say is,
so
I've not seen this many people looking this beautiful, but it's not a new person of beauty. Let me give you this.
Another one?
Yeah, I'm not done. You know that Skip and Shannon also, 17 years difference? Something about that number 17 and working together, and you work well together. Anyway, let me say this. Patrick Mahomes has not redefined the position because of his arm, not because of his mobility, not because of his success and stats and winning, or not also because of who he is in character. There's nothing brand new off the charts beyond what we've ever seen at that position from Patrick Mahomes. Therefore, he is not redefining that position.
I love you, big dog. I love this conversation, actually. This one's about to cut you. This one is. Because this point is greater than the last point was
Cut
great.
me. Take some of this fat off.
Do you realize that Patrick Mahomes has Cowboys Hall of Famers insulting the Cowboys starting quarterback because of how good Patrick Mahomes is? Yeah. Drew Pearson,
Let's talk.
Cowboys Hall of Famer, just 72 hours ago, came out and said, after watching those $40 million quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, of course, I intruded them both. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Dak like that's not doing enough. Patrick Mahomes is redefined what $40 million looks like. Everything in life is relative. Albert Einstein, to put it very simply, pretty girl sits on your lap for a minute, it feels like, sits on your lap for an hour, it feels like a minute. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute, it feels like an hour. That is relativity. Everything in life is relative. Right. So $40 million, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, what Dak had, that should be plenty good for $40 million. A 12-5 record, that should be plenty good for $40 million. You host a playoff game, that should be plenty good for $40 million, unless somebody has redefined what $40 million looks like. Patrick Mahomes has redefined what $40 million looks like.
Let's have a convo.
A top-paid quarterback, Jimmy G once was, Derek Carr once was. They had defined what a top-paid quarterback looks like. You come in, you be good for a stint. Jimmy G was good for 6 games, he got paid. Derek Carr went to 3 Pro Bowls his first 4 years, he got paid, highest paid. But Patrick Mahomes has redefined what the highest paid quarterback looks like, because now what we want out of our highest paid quarterbacks is the highest level of success.
Oh my.
Dak Prescott, he's the highest paid quarterback this year. But even Hall of Fame Cowboys former greats aren't happy because Patrick Mahomes has now redefined what greatness looks like at that position, Marcellus Wiley. So just take it from Cowboys Hall of Famers, just take it from NFL scouts, just take it from the mimicking of the attempt of Patrick Mahomes and Jordan Love and Trey Lance. The evidence is before your eyes. The position has been redefined.
Come on, big dog. We can't do this.
What are we doing?
If we're going to redefine it, are we going to be objective or are we going to be subjective? Because you're using objective evidence, $40 million. That's a number, right? Objective number. And then you're getting subjective based on a Hall of Famer's thoughts on a quarterback. That's not redefining it. Maybe you aren't exposed to what the quarterback position looks like throughout history. Maybe you weren't exposed to beautiful girls in Los Angeles throughout. Sorry, I'm from here. It's nothing new. And it's not redefining what beauty is. It's just a large amount. It's a large number, quantity. But the quality, I lived in Bristol. I've been to Austin. Fine is fine. I don't know what the hell Einstein talking about. You talk about relativity. Let's break down this in terms of objective attributes. Let's break down Patrick Mahomes so we can have a real conversation, not just how someone feels about him. Look at his arm. Have you seen that arm before?
A few times.
Thank you. You've seen the arm before. Let's talk about Brett Favre. Y'all forget? Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, my generation of version of Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about Matthew Stafford. You want to know why I want to bring up Matthew Stafford? Even Greg Cosell said this, and thankfully he said this, because I know y'all not paying attention to Matthew Stafford until he became a Ram. Matthew Stafford started this off-angle arm talent conversation, throwing the ball any way he could because he had that arm cannon. That was in the years where he wasn't making it to the playoffs, and if he did make it to the playoffs, he was losing. But all of a sudden, y'all gonna come out here and act like it's brand new. That's what this generation does. They will do something that has already been done, rename it, and act like it's brand new. Let me give you some examples. Is Lil Wayne a homie? Lil Wayne's our dog, right? Lil Wayne's so smart, he said, let me do this song, and they gonna all love it. But where the love go? And everybody, my niece, my daughter, daddy, this song, Lil Wayne, that's your homeboy, hit him up, this is fire. And then I start laughing. I said, that ain't nothing but G-Dep Special Delivery. Now, G-Dep Special Delivery, do you know that song?
No, sir.
Exactly, but that's what your generation, Tom McShay does. That's what y'all do. So now, let's talk about this. Remember the Running Man Challenge?
Of course.
Here y'all go. First of all, it wasn't even a damn running man y'all were doing. I don't know what the skipping dance was. I'm DJing a party, big party, and the Running Man Challenge guys are coming there. And everybody, oh my God, this is so fresh, this is so fresh. You know what that was?
Talk to me.
Jeanne, my boo. Nothing. I grew up on that song. Y'all will always take a label off something that's already there, put a new label on it, and say, guess what? That is brand new. Patrick Mahomes, in terms of arm talent, we've seen that before. Patrick Mahomes, in terms of mobility, have you seen that before? Thank you.
I'm just waiting for you to be done, honestly.
Why? Because you're mad because you can't win this argument.
No,
why are you redefining something that's already been done?
You gave me some great points. I'm not going to negate those. But here's the thing, and this is going to seem kind of oxymoronic or just simply ironic, but what is the definition of define? The definition,
what does Webster say?
The definition of define, mark out the boundary or limits of. So define means to mark out the boundary or the limits of. The limit of a great young quarterback once upon a time was Tom Brady, Super Bowl his second year, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, by his second year, 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He redefined what it meant to be great.
Sure?
The limits of a $40 million quarterback early on was not the limits of now what Patrick Mahomes
They just started $40 million quarterbacks.
So you just started $40 million quarterbacks. Let's look at the boundary of $40 million quarterbacks.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes has redefined what it means to be a $40 million quarterback. The limits of what it means to be a prototypical quarterback used to be a 6'5", statuesque, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady type of quarterback. Now, Patrick Mahomes looked at what Aaron Rodgers had defined, and he redefined it because he moved the limit, he moved the boundary of it. Now, you and I can debate how much did he move it.
He didn't move it.
But what we cannot debate is that he moved it.
No,
Patrick Mahomes, is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback under 26?
By accomplishment, I would have.
You have to say
I don't know. Tom Brady had more Super Bowls. But he's better than Tom Brady.
Correct.
But then Dan Marino was better than Tom Brady and went to the Super Bowl in his second year.
I'm asking you a very simple question based upon you being a 10-year NFL player who has multiple Pro Bowls and All-Pros to his name. You are no fool.
Yeah.
Is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback?
I would say yes.
Of course he is.
Yes.
So, if we can agree that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback under 26, then Patrick Mahomes has redefined what it means to be great at a minimum under 26. At a minimum, we have to establish if he is he's set a new barrier.
Or he's the greatest of that definition that has already existed before Patrick Mahomes. But that's not redefining. Let's go. Why is it? Dan Marino, second year, 48 touchdowns and a Super Bowl appearance. Did you see that out of Patrick Mahomes? You saw 50 and no Super Bowl appearance.
That's a redefinition, though. It might be.
It's less. It's less.
No. Sal, look at this. Okay,
I don't know why you don't want to agree about something that is objectively defined.
Because here's what we're saying, and we
didn't go to the Super Bowl.
We're almost there.
We're going to go. We're going to tweak
this. I'm redefining what you're saying a little bit. You just moved into a house. I'm moving into a house. Moving into a house. There's a definition of the square footage.
Okay.
The square footage is what is the boundary around the house of simple square footage. If you have a 6,000 square foot house, but all of a sudden you build onto that house with extra land and it is now 6,200 square feet. You have redefined.
Second dwelling.
You have redefined the square footage
I don't need your examples.
of that house.
I don't need your. First of all, your examples are too small for me. No, just kidding. I'm not living there with MJ.
That's not the point. Is you're saying his redefinition is so marginal that you don't want to acknowledge.
No, I'm saying that I've already seen all of these attributes. Here's the best example you could bring up, and I thought I was going to give it to you, tee it up for you, but you didn't even take it. Make the alley-oops, damn it. LeBron James redefined what you see in a basketball player. You know why? Because LeBron James doesn't grow on trees. Hate to say this, Patrick Mahomes, as great as he is, does grow on trees in terms of attributes. Now, we'll see what this adds up to. You don't believe me? Let's talk about it.
No.
Okay.
Because there was Magic Johnson. So if you're going to say that LeBron redefined it, Magic dropped, 48 in a game 6 when Kareem was hurt to clinch it?
Hold on. This is just the comments that just came out, and this is what I'm saying. LeBron James is Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. Who else you want to put in the blender, right? And then what takes it over the top is, can we find another LeBron James in terms of those attributes? All of the skills he possesses. No. Here's where they are different, LeBron James and Patrick Mahomes. Can we find those skills somewhere else? Well, we've seen them before. Well, can we go find this type of physical attribute, mental attribute? We've kind of seen that before as well. The arm talent. I went through the arm talent. Mobility. What are we talking about the position? Mobility. Winning. We've seen this type of winning before. I just brought up Tom Brady.
No, sir.
There's nothing that you're going to give me that is brand new.
Lying.
Go.
First off.
And I'm not done with my LeBron point. LeBron James will go.
You said go, and then you said you're not.
Because I knew you were going to not listen to this point. LeBron James, tell me this. Will go down in history. Most points scored ever as a guy who's not even trying to score first. As a guy who's actually trying to be a facilitator. Go down not only top in rebounds, NBA history, top in assists, top in points. And that's what I'm saying. That's a redefinition. And you look at him in terms of talent, it's next level. Sure. And we've not seen it before. I'm sorry to say this. We've seen Patrick Mahomes before, and we don't know what he's going to add up to that's going to be redefined.
Okay, I love your point. I love your point. But here's the aspect of it I love. You said we have seen it before. In order to redefine something, something must exist before because we are doing it differently. So, yes, we have seen Patrick Mahomes before. That was the definition. After you see a Patrick Mahomes who is greater, that is now again defined. So in order for Patrick Mahomes to have redefined the quarterback position, we must have seen the quarterback position at a great level before. LeBron James, you can say he redefined the point forward position. We saw it at a Magic. You can say he redefined the point forward position. But the only way you can redefine something is if we've seen it before. Otherwise, you're just defining.
Yeah. But
so we saw
what have we seen in excess from Patrick Mahomes at this level, at this age, in comparison to everybody else?
I'll tell you.
Jim Kelly with the 4 straight Super Bowls.
Here is what
Patrick Mahomes, we don't know that.
Patrick Mahomes has hosted 4 straight AFC Championship
I just said Super Bowls. I already went past that.
We have not seen a team host 4 consecutive championship games in the history of the NFL.
Give me a play. Give me that.
Ever.
Patrick Mahomes is on a quest to get to his 3rd straight Super Bowl. Jim Kelly is sitting back saying, they ain't give me my props, so I went to 4 straight Super Bowl. When? We don't even know if Patrick Mahomes going to get past this.
Okay, great.
No, and to your point, you said Drew Pearson was watching this round of games and said these quarterbacks.
Yes, sir.
Once again, the plural makes my point. I'm not trying to diss Patrick Mahomes. I'm just trying to tell y'all putting a label on something that's already been there.
We're going to get back to this one.
Oh, we got to do it again?
Get back to this one.
You going to listen next time?
I still got some haymakers to throw.
Okay, you better, because last time you were just trying to play it. Coming up, Big Ben announced he's retiring after 18 seasons in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you what his legacy will be. But first, look at you mad at me. Jimmy Garoppolo is in the NFC Championship game again. Oh, really? We'll tell you if he's earned a starting job next season or is he redefined the position. I don't know, Acho. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Where the love go?
Sunday, the NFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax Live is on Fox with the clash between division rivals. The Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for a trip to Super Bowl 56. It all kicks off at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, speaking of that game, Jimmy Garoppolo will be playing in his second NFC Championship in 3 seasons. Along the way, he's battled critics and reports. Rookie Trey Lance will take his job next season. A recent article posed the question, quote, what if Jimmy Garoppolo is under center for a second Super Bowl? What if he wins it? Ooh, a lot of what ifs, but all of which are possible. The biggest question, though, Sel, is Jimmy Garoppolo earned a starting job next season?
Absolutely, he's earned that starting position next season. But he, as I, will expect competition in earning that same job. Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy that just adversity just has to come with him. Why? Because he checks all the other boxes. And it's just funny to bring him back down to earth, back down to mortality, to a place of imperfection. Jimmy Garoppolo, as great as he looks, as famous as he is, as beautiful as he is, as rich as he is, just seems like he always has to find or be accompanied by some form of struggle because people don't fully appreciate Jimmy Garoppolo. So wherever he goes, someone's going to look at him. They're going to look at his intangibles and say, oh, man, he must be a leader because obviously look at the success. And then they're going to look at the tangibles and start to slight him. He's not the fastest, not the biggest arm. Oh, Kyle Shanahan was really supporting him as a crutch. I don't know about that. And that's where the mistake and adversity will come. They'll go out there and get a viable competitor to try and challenge Jimmy Garoppolo once again, instead of just simply realizing this dude is a winner. And since he's a winner, how are you evaluating quarterbacks if success is not your priority? It just adds up for Jimmy Garoppolo after the equal sign, not before in terms of individual attributes. So Jimmy, he knows what's coming. Somebody gonna hate on him. They hated on him when he got his first contract. He only played 7 games. I was hating too. I was like, damn, only 7 games? Highest paid in NFL history? But he's earned it because he's a winner. He's earned it because he took the 49ers and they had hit some low moments. The 49ers are now back in the NFC Championship game with a chance for a Super Bowl appearance once again because of Jimmy Garoppolo. When he's there, Super Bowl appearances. When he's not there as their starter, losing seasons. It's just too simple, but people don't want to add it up properly.
No, you're exactly right. Jimmy G has earned a starting job next year, but huge caveat. I don't know if he's earned the Niners starting job next year.
Why?
Because in the NFL, and you know this, I, though, might know it better, they don't play the most talented player. They play the player who has the most invested in him. Typically, investment means who's the highest paid. In this situation for the 49ers, investment means what was the draft capital invested.
Yes.
Trey Lance has several first-round picks of draft capital invested. So while Jimmy G might be making more money, Trey Lance has more invested in him than Jimmy G. So Jimmy G has earned a starting job. It just might not be for the 49ers. I give it to you in story form, one of my favorite NFL stories, though it's the most tragic for me. December 31st, 2014, we just finished playing the New York Giants. We beat them, albeit Odell Beckham had a phenomenal game. 12 catches, I believe 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He balled. We still got the dub. We finished 10-6. We don't go to the playoffs. Cowboys finished maybe 11-5. They advanced. Dapping each other up on the sidelines, dapping each other up. Hey, good season. 10-6 is hard to come by. My teammate, Chris Maragos, he looks up to me. Hey, Acho, congratulations, big dog. You made the team next year. What? I'm confused. My 4th year in the league, but he's telling me I've already made the team next year. I later inquired from him in the locker room. Hey, what you know?
Yeah, what you know? I don't know.
Like, Chip, tell you something. Chip,
Holla at your boy.
Let me know. He said, what you mean? You balled all season long. Like, you made the team based on your play this season. You are good for next year. I was like, oh, you might be right. Pro Football Focus releases an article the next week. I'm the 33rd ranked linebacker in the National Football League. Y'all do the math. 2 starting linebackers on every team, 32 teams in the league, 64 starters in the league. I'm the 33rd ranked. Oh, I'm Gucci. Clearly the Eagles gonna keep me. Problem. You don't play the best player, you play the player that has the most invested in them. A couple days later, Chip Kelly trades LaShawn McCoy for Kiko Alonso.
Oh, damn.
Kiko Alonso, linebacker. He gonna make the team.
Kiko.
There's a lot invested in Kiko, and Kiko was a baller. Couple months later, with the 3rd pick of the 3rd round, the Philadelphia Eagles draft linebacker Jordan Hicks. Third-round pick gonna make the team now. Jordan Hicks still a baller. Ball for the Arizona Cardinals this year. That's my little bro. So he gonna make the team. So all of a sudden, though my play the year before earned me a job on the team, capital was invested in individuals, even regardless and despite my play, that bumped me from the second on the depth chart behind DeMeco Ryans or third behind DeMeco Ryans and Michael Kendricks to fifth on the depth chart behind DeMeco Ryans, Michael Kendricks, Kiko Alonso, and Jordan Hicks. Next thing you know, I was demanding a trade. Jimmy Garoppolo's play this season has earned him a spot on the Niners next year. However, there's a man by the name of Trey Lance who has a lot invested in him. And just like my play earned me a spot, and if you don't believe in me, believe in Pro Football Focus, with so many people use as their Bible, earned a spot, it don't matter if there's more capital invested in other people.
Damn. Tremendous story. Tremendous story. I love how you said somebody who took your job was your little brother. Cain and Abel around here. What's your little brother? Look,
I recruited him to Texas. He goes to Texas, 2 years younger than me. Like, he never saw the field when I'm in Texas. Next thing you know, I'm in the league. We start balling. Next thing you know, I go. Look, I got to tell the story. I got to tell you.
Look at you. I knew I was going to get something out of you. You can't lie on the Bible.
I'm at Pro Day, Texas's Pro Day. I would go back to my alma mater's Pro Day every time. I'm sitting there, hey, Hicks, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you do your thing. They're probably going to go through these drills, I walk into the building.
Mentor.
I see the Eagles linebacker coach.
What you doing here?
wait.
You lost?
I already played for y'all. You here to see me? No, man, I'm here to work out here. Oh, I was like, it's a wrap.
You about to go locker room. You better get out this conversation.
It's a wrap.
You about to hit him with the little way.
I'm done. Anyway, bro, go ahead.
Yeah, you looked at him like, what the? No, where the love go? I've been there before. Look, they drafted a first-round defensive end in my contract year. Think I didn't want to go upstairs, but instead I hit the weight room, I hit the field, and I made sure they picked me. Man. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to do the same. He's just going to hit the field. You know what's funny about Jimmy Garoppolo? How there's so much noise around him, and he makes no noise. It's like everywhere he goes, he's like Pigpen. That's why adversity, dust, dirt always just follows him. He's like, I'm Jimmy GQ. I am not a part of any of this mess. People can't see him clearly because of the dust always surrounding him. And I hate to say it, I don't know if Trey Lance is going to be a better option. Don't forget that Jimmy Garoppolo went to the 49ers that had missed the playoffs 3 straight years before he got there. Record was 7-25 before Jimmy GQ shows up. All of a sudden, let's go to the Super Bowl. It's been 22 seasons before they went to the Super Bowl before Jimmy Garoppolo. You see that type of effect you always talk about. The effect of a Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. The effect of Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Judge a man by the distance traveled. Okay, we all know we grew up loving the 49ers and their greatness in the 80s and 90s. It was a long time between those moments of greatness and when Jimmy Garoppolo became their starting quarterback. All I see from Jimmy Garoppolo is enough to say that the dude even has top 10 numbers right now. You do the math, as you want to say. There are 32 teams in the league, and there's 2 linebackers. Well, there's 1 starting quarterback. And if you're top 10, you should be a starter next year. He's 9th in passer rating and 6th in completion percentage. Better than Patrick Mahomes. Let me not name the names, but Jimmy Garoppolo went out there and balled this year. All that said, of course he should be a starter.
No, and one I have to co-sign, but I have to also add to this.
Let's go.
So Jimmy Garoppolo, he is one of 3 quarterbacks to go to 2 NFC Championship games the last 3 years. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Aaron Rodgers. 3 championship games, not NFC, obviously. But beyond that, in football, we always talk about, let them lose the game first.
Okay.
If they do not lose the game, then we will go and win the game. Defensively, let me get even more specific. We say don't get beat deep. Why? Not just because you don't want to get beat deep, but defensive coordinators will tell you if an offense has to march down the field for 12 to 15 plays, eventually
they're going to make a mistake.
Eventually they're going to make a mistake because in football, other teams are more likely to beat themselves before you beat yourself.
Yep.
Jimmy G is not costing the Niners games. He might not be winning them, but we have to hammer the point home. He's not costing them games. Number 1 seed in the AFC, quarterback Ryan Tannehill cost the Tennessee Titans that football game. So while so many people are like, Acho, that's such a low bar, not costing them games, let's make no mistake. The number 1 seed in the AFC, which many have said is the better conference this year, the number 1 seed in the AFC, their quarterback cost them games. So we have to respect Jimmy G for what he's not doing just as much as respecting him for what he is doing. Because if you can limit a negative, that's just as good as giving me a positive. Because at the end of the day, it still nets a profit.
Man, you sure you're doing the right thing in life? I know you got a little preacher in you because that's your daddy. But you also could be a coach because Bill Belichick always says more games are lost than won in the NFL. We're really having this conversation that the Looney Tunes had when I was growing up. You a Looney Tunes fan?
Of course.
Oh, really?
I know the Looney Tunes. I wasn't a fan.
Well, then stop lying then. You ain't a fan. I asked you were you a fan.
Are you a Looney Tunes? I said yes before you finished the question. I was trying to affirm you as a good co-host. Great job, Marcellus.
What about Tortoise and Hare? Remember those?
Yes.
You do? Okay, good. The Tortoise and Hare really exemplify what you just talked about. They exemplify what you're speaking of. The tortoise just sitting there. Hey, man, look at me. Ain't much to it. I don't know if I'm going to finish this race, but I'm going to go out there and try it. Oh, Jimmy G, right? Meanwhile, all these hares out there that's always out there. Oh, look at Patrick Mahomes on down from greatness. You can just see it coming, right? And it's funny that Jimmy Garoppolo may find himself at the same position as some of those hares. Now, Patrick Mahomes is like, look, I'm just too fast. You ain't going to catch me, turtle. I don't give a damn how crafty you are, how many games you go out there and just manage. But the same thing about Jimmy Garoppolo that I respect is the same thing I respect about a Tom Brady. Tom Brady always had those top 10 defenses, right? Tom Brady would go out there not only win, but win the Super Bowl. Jimmy G was leading in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter. Then his number 2 defense decided to be number 22, and they couldn't finish that game. But if you look at Jimmy G, dog, 5th best winning percentage in NFL history, a winner. Tom Brady, when he has a top 10 defense, okay, let me go out there and win some Super Bowls. Jimmy G, take him to the Super Bowl when he has a top 10 defense. What about Aaron Rodgers? When he had his top 10 defense, went out there in Super Bowl, right? What about Peyton Manning? Remember all the years? When is Peyton going to have a defense that lives up to it? Bob Sanders finally stays healthy for 1 year, and Peyton Manning says, here's my Super Bowl. All I'm saying is his defense, maybe, good enough to get Jimmy Garoppolo back to the Super Bowl. And then this time, they just got to finish the deal. Now, speaking of this game, Fox Bet Super 6 wants the nation to stack the cash again for the 49ers-Rams NFC Championship game on Fox. One of the questions features George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. So, Acho, who will have more receptions and how many receptions will they have combined?
George Kittle will have 7. Deebo will have 5. So Kittle will have more receptions, a combined 12 receptions.
Okay, I'm going to break it down, too. Okay, George Kittle will have 5. And then Deebo will have 4, a combined 9. You were right last week. You're probably right this week. We'll see. Last week, the jackpot, it reached over $325,000. And Fox Bet Super 6 wants to make it even higher this week. Scan the QR code and enter the NFC Championship contest for your chance to win. It's free as well. Invite your friends to play, too, because the more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot gets. Coming up, Big Ben is retiring from the NFL as a 2-time champion. Tell you what his legacy will be next on Speak for Yourself. It's official. Ben Roethlisberger is retiring after 18 seasons with the Steelers. Big Ben put out a tribute video earlier today to announce his decision. He leaves the game as a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a 6-time Pro Bowler, and with the 5th most passing yards in NFL history. Acho, what will Big Ben's legacy be?
Very simple, one word, winner.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger, you have to think about it. He is one of 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different coaches at the same organization.
Okay.
2 or more Super Bowls, 2 different coaches, same organization. Ben Roethlisberger, rewind 30 years. Troy Aikman, rewind a little bit. Joe Montana. Why is this so special? Because when a head coach comes into a building, everything changes. Assistant coaches, position coaches, the chef might change, security might change. Everything changes with a new head coach, especially over the course of time. But Ben Roethlisberger wins one with Cowher. Things change. You get Tomlin, you win another one. Ben Roethlisberger will and should be remembered as one of the greatest winners in the history of football at the quarterback position. The Pittsburgh Steelers never had a losing season. When Ben Roethlisberger went into their season as a starting quarterback, I will repeat that because that should wow you. The Pittsburgh Steelers never had a losing season when Ben Roethlisberger went into the season as a starting quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger was a starter for 18 years. That's one of them stats make you slap somebody.
I'm over here.
Ben Roethlisberger will and should be remembered, Sel, as one of the greatest winners. I can't wait to retort after what you got to say because I know you got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, you said one word. I have one sentence that just really gives me the imagery of who Ben Roethlisberger is. He can win a gunfight with his bare knuckles. Like, that's who he is. Like, I remember meeting Ben Roethlisberger as a draft prospect coming out of college and hanging with him, talking to him, and just knowing this game, doing my job. And I was looking at him like, nothing is off the charts in terms of his attributes. Nothing is like, whoa, it's just going to wow you. Everything combined, as all those ingredients combined together into what we see in Ben Roethlisberger. But individually, I was like, he's big, but then he's quick enough, fast enough, but not fast. Like, arm big, but not the biggest arm. Like, you were just looking like there was nothing that you were going to put the number one by any of his attributes. But boy, as you said, they all added up to him going out there and becoming number one as a quarterback multiple years. What I see in Ben Roethlisberger is interesting because Ben Roethlisberger, when you sack him, if you sack Ben Roethlisberger, you're going to be the one that's hurt. You're going to be the one that felt it. Like Big Ben in the pocket, his presence, his elusiveness was deceptive. You're like, there's no way he's going to outrun me. There's no way he's going to outshake me. And there's no way he's going to stiff arm me like I am a little DB. And all of those things just add up to a guy who maybe wanted to do it the hard way, but certainly made it look easy.
Let me say this, and you correct me if I'm wrong. You're more of a historian, at least by play, than I am in football. I would say Big Ben was the first quarterback to be physically feared on the football field.
Ooh.
Not feared by the stance of what Mike Vick might do outrunning me.
Okay.
But Big Ben was the first quarterback to be physically feared on the field.
Yeah.
Drafted to the Cleveland Browns, so clearly we had to play the Steelers twice, and I was sitting in the meeting rooms. I remember defensive linemen who spent excess time in the weight room that week because if you get to Big Ben, he is not going down easy. Like Marcellus just alluded to, if you sack Big Ben, you might be the one getting sacked. Big Ben will stiff arm a 300-pound defensive tackle like he's a 180-pound defensive back. Big Ben redefined what it meant for quarterbacks to be tough in an era where we were removing toughness, not just from football, but from the quarterback position. So Big Ben instilled toughness in a position where toughness is not valued, and he instilled fear in a position where nobody is feared. Big Ben really redefined, and we'll talk more about that word later, but he truly redefined that quarterback position.
Yeah, that toughness wasn't valued because that toughness wasn't even asked for. Like a quarterback, red jersey in practice, has security when we're walking to the bus and off the bus, like that guy. Even though we're all big football players, he needs extra security. Okay. Like Ben Roethlisberger played with an old soul. You ever be around somebody with an old soul? I mean, just beyond their years in terms of how they played. I really respected his game, and it's crazy how he would make a single pass rush, 2 plays. The first play is get to me. The second play is get me down.
Was that harder than getting to Ben Roethlisberger?
I don't know if I ever got him down, but I got a play right here to just let y'all know that there's a reason why all great things come to an end. And I don't know if I was ever great, but this is the end. Look at me right there. First of all, Marvell Smith, I just saw you. Don't be you pass rushing against me like that. Look at this kind of extension of a play when Ben Roethlisberger. This was a heartbreaker, too, right here. I remember Parcells yelling at me, Wally, I will cut you right now. And I did Antonio Brown. I just took off my clothes. I'm out. But this is who Ben Roethlisberger was. Like, this is just a normal play. This is not a highlight reel play for Ben Roethlisberger. It's a low-light reel play for me, but he made that happen so many times. 2 plays in 1. The dude was amazing.
Well, first and foremost,
why
did you abandon your pass rush so quick? I went in there with no move.
First of all, it's the end of the third quarter.
You went in there with no pass rush move. You looked like you wanted to give a 2-hand swipe. Don't worry, y'all gonna see it again.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Look at that.
Nope, not this thing.
You know why?
I want the very top.
I got caught. Let me that dude's dude
and then
with me.
Marcellus turns into a DB. Watch him start backpedaling. He gonna start here.
What do you mean? I got a hit on him in the air.
He tries a 2-hand swipe, doesn't work.
That ain't work. Then I said,
I thought
he was going to run.
He starts crossover.
You know what? I got caught, and this is bad. This is why I got cut. Let me tell you why I got cut, y'all. My eyes were peeking in the backfield because it was Ben Roethlisberger. Normal quarterbacks, like you said, normal quarterbacks, you're just going to do your pass rush move. Oh, where are you at? I'm trying to do 2 things at one. I'm serving 2 guys, and then not serving none. And I got punched. I only had 3 sacks that whole year. Did guys have that in the game now? Like, take me off the screen before people lose respect
in
for
all
me.
seriousness.
Hold on, are we going to talk glowingly about Ben Roethlisberger this whole time? Because this is the funeral. I get it. He retired, right? You go to my funeral, you be like, oh, we can't talk about little JJ like that. But were there anything about Ben Roethlisberger? You're like, I had some issues with that.
Well, I think clearly early on, off the field, Ben
I ain't talking about that.
Roethlisberger,
They're going to go with that. I'm talking us.
Nah, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, to me,
Did he overachieve? Did he underachieve?
Okay, you want to keep it really real. Ben Roethlisberger, he just played too long, big dog. Like, if we being really real, he has not been the same Ben Roethlisberger for the last 3 years. Maybe even the last 4 years.
Not Big Ben?
So, no.
Itty bitty Ben?
The problem is this. Let me give you an analogy. I'm going to give you an analogy, and I'm going to try to stay as politically correct as possible.
Yeah, it's the funeral. Be respectful.
So there are several individuals that I've, several of my homeboys, that they might like a woman more heavier set, right? A more heavier set, you know what I'm saying? Which is all good if you're working out and you still heavier set. Because if you're working out and heavier set, it works to your advantage. It's still in shape, but it's still a little heavier set.
Oh, I love this tightrope.
But when you stop working out, it might not stay as tight.
Elasticity.
Ben Roethlisberger's size worked to his advantage early on in his career.
Okay, I got
because you couldn't bring him down because of how big he was and how strong he was, and he was still agile enough.
Okay.
But after a while, Ben Roethlisberger's size now worked to his detriment because there came a point in time, even towards my last year, 2015 in the league, where Ben was, now he's just slow. Now you're just looking at Big Ben, and he's just heavy-footed. He used to be, big, strong Ben, I can't bring him down. But then towards the latter half of his career, it was like, I ain't worried about Big Ben. He's slow. His arm ain't that strong. He really ain't going to escape me. Now he's worse than a statue back there because he still had the mindset of I'm strong, can evade you, I'm elusive, but he didn't have the body of I'm strong, can evade you, I'm elusive. Eli Manning, if you got to him, he's taking a sack instantly. Just like you're not even touching him.
Like his brother.
He's sliding, he's taking a sack. Big Ben ain't sliding, taking no sacks. For who? Because he still had that mentality of I'm 6'5", 270, come get me. But his body was not still I'm 6'5", 270, come get me. I think that worked to his detriment towards the end of his career.
This is the special sauce of our show.
By the way, I'm not inviting you to any funerals of anyone I know.
Why?
Because you be at the funeral.
You better hope I don't know.
Can you not say the truth in those hard truths?
Really? I got to be that family member. It's like, poor little Johnny. What we serving at the wake? What we going to eat at the wake? I hate those family members, too. I'm keeping it balanced. That's why I love this show. I love doing it this way. You ain't right. Patrick Mahomes has pros and cons. Ben Roethlisberger has pros and cons. Two things that stick out to me. One is you talked about him playing too long. I just think that because he didn't prepare for how he was going to end it, the end came fast. And then all of a sudden, like you said, he wasn't in the greatest of shape. You're 37 years old talking about you're going to get in shape. That's already a bad sign of professionalism. I will say that. And it's funny you bring that up because we always hear athletes losing a few pounds in the offseason, and then you watch them perform, and typically they perform better, except Ezekiel Elliott. But the point is, I want to let everyone know that as an athlete, and I heard this from a doctor before, that when you lose a pound, in terms of work against gravity, that's 9 pounds. So whenever you see a guy who loses 5, 10 pounds in the offseason, he's just lost 45 to 90 pounds in terms of the adverse effect on gravity. That's why they look so much faster. You're like, how many pounds you lose? 5, 10. It doesn't take much. The other thing is the AB situation. Now, AB can't testify for AB right now, and he can't defend himself right now because he's now in another mess. But it's just interesting hearing not just AB, but other players talk about Ben Roethlisberger as a leader. There were some issues with that in terms of the professionalism, doing the radio show every single week and calling out the teammates. It's just interesting, man. To me, that's what the legacy is. A lot of greatness on the field, a couple issues maybe in the locker room, and then we're just going to leave it right there.
Trivia question, Columbia.
Oh, me?
Yeah, trivia question.
I ain't go to Harvard now, so chill.
What's the acceleration of gravity? You can give it to me during commercial break.
Yeah, I'm about to Google that. Coming up. What? I was a sociology major. You better chill. Chase, Kelsey, Hill, Mixon. The Bengals and Chiefs both have great skill position players, so we decided to rank them. That's next. As I Google, what'd you ask me again?
Acceleration of gravity at Earth.
Man, speak for yourself. Just answer it. I don't that acceleration. Welcome back. Boom. Ooh, look at you.
Okay, my quarterback good now.
Yeah, using them hands too, not off the pads. Bengals Chiefs AFC Championship game will feature two of the most high-octane offenses in football, led by stars Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. All right, so we decided to rank the top 5 skill position players in the game. Acho, you're up first. Who you got?
The great debate. Who has the better skill positions? Is it the Cincinnati Bengals? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs?
Let's see.
Get rolling. At number 5, T. Higgins.
Okay.
T. Higgins, Bengals receiver. He had a little over 1,000 yards this year. He's been balling. Y'all remember him at Clemson. He did his thing, actually played with Trevor Lawrence, now playing with Joe Burrow. So T. Higgins is my number 5.
Good quarterbacks.
Number 4, give me the running back, Joe Mixon.
Oh, okay.
1,400 total yards this year. A all-around baller in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Maybe the most underrated or at least untalked about running back in football.
Bingo.
For several reasons, all of which have to do with off the field. But on the field, his game goes crazy. Now, the top 3 is where it gets tricky, Sal.
Why get tricky?
Because, you got your Travis Kelce.
I heard
you got
him.
your Tyreek Hill. You got your Jamar Chases. At number 3, give me Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's my number 3. Big-time explosive player, but obviously he has some limitations. In the red zone, you can't just go up there and throw him a fade. You can't hit him with a slant. You got to hit him with maybe a whip route, maybe a crossing route. But Tyreek Hill at number 3. At number 2.
Interesting.
Give me Jamar Chase.
Already?
Yeah, already.
How many years has he been playing?
It don't matter.
Oh,
Maybe the
I
best
get it.
rookie receiver the game has seen at least since Randy
Okay,
Moss.
I was about to say.
So Jamar Chase was a dude this year. Essentially broke every Bengals record and broke nearly every rookie receiving record.
Over Ocho? Over Yusmazada?
Jamar Chase, a dude. And the number 1, obviously, deducing it, Travis Kelce, 10 touchdowns, 10 playoff games since 2018, all-around beast. Travis Kelce, I like more than all of these players because Travis Kelce, red zone threat, in-game threat, in-field threat. And then remember the wisdom of Travis Kelce down against the Buffalo Bills. 13 seconds left. Hey, if they play me like this, I'm going to deviate from the play call. I'm going to deviate from the script, and I'm going to run us a route to get us back into the AFC Championship game. My list.
Okay. I like your list. I'm going to beat it up later after I put up the better list right here. It just happens to be mine. Let's talk about number 5. Here's a surprise. No surprise. T. Higgins. I got to go with T. Higgins. I know a lot of people out there like, that's not a household name, but 74 catches, over 1,000 yards, it's going to start to get to a household situation. Number 4, got to go with the dual threat out the backfield and Joe Mixon as well. 1,500 scrimmage yards. Dog, this dude runs so hard, so elusive, and he does need more love. Very underappreciated in terms of how his name and status is around the league. Number 3, it doesn't get tricky for me. To me, it's pretty simple. Let's put him up there right now. You had Tyreek Hill a little too low for me. You got to do it longer if you're going to be higher on this list, but he is a beast. I am not taking any shots at how Chase has hit the ground running. But now let's flip that order, and number 2 is Tyreek Hill. Do not disrespect Tyreek Hill between the 20s. 20s to 20s, come on.
He's a different dude.
And before Travis Kelce had the hero catch, you know who was extending the game for him and getting him in that position?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
Talk
Hill.
about it.
Now, number 1, let's just keep it simple. We know what it is. Swaggy. Travis Kelce, man.
So here then, Sel, is a better question, because this is cool, this is fun, this is great.
Yeah, all we did was switch.
Who has the better skill positions? Because the names we've left off here, Mecole Hardman, the Chiefs' third wide receiver.
Yes.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Chiefs' running back. And we also left off Boyd, wide receiver, the Bengals' third wide receiver.
The tight end.
Uzomah, the tight end. Who has the better skill positions? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs or is it the Cincinnati Bengals?
You know, this is an argument that we have to break down because which one has higher talent level? Which one has a higher capacity? I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs. But then if you look at it, 1 and 2, you look at it in terms of just the median, the average of all of their skilled players. You look at the situation, I think it's the Cincinnati Bengals. If I were a quarterback, which situation would I want to go to? We haven't even put Andy Reid on here. Obviously, that's going to mix it up different than maybe a Zach Taylor. But who has the better skill position players? I always go with the higher amount of talent. That's Kansas City Chiefs.
But the higher amount of talent, you're just talking about the peak.
Yeah.
Like
the highest. Who's going to reach the highest? Look, 1 and 2 is over here. I understand collectively you can make an argument, a greater argument for the Bengals, but I just need that absurd level of talent. Fair. I got somebody between the 20s and Tyreek Hill, speedster, then Travis Kelce all across the field. Little different and more proven than what you're going to have.
So I would take the Bengals. I would take the Bengals because what Joe Mixon does at the running back position, I think he opens things up for everybody.
Facts.
Remember, the Chiefs tried to get that in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and to some degree, he's gotten that. He was hurt a little bit his rookie campaign, bouncing back this campaign. But what Joe Mixon can do out of the backfield as a receiver, what Joe Mixon can do in the backfield as a running back, he opens things up for Jamar Chase, opens things up for T. Higgins. We haven't talked about Uzomah much. We haven't talked about Boyd much. If Patrick Mahomes had these receivers for the Bengals, plus the head coach of Andy Reid, bro, I think he would be doing even greater than what he's doing in KC. KC is just so unique.
Really?
KC Cell is almost like what the Legion of Boom had, because the Legion of Boom had an enforcer in Cam Chancellor. They had a deep eraser in Earl Thomas, and then they had Richard Sherman. The Chiefs have Travis Kelce, just can navigate and slither throughout all the nuances of route running. Then they have an elite speedster in Tyreek Hill. They're just so unique, but I don't know if they're better.
Interesting. You know, the Bengals second in the league in terms of receiving yardage, right? But number one, the Rams. Now think about it. The Rams don't have the highest amount of talent at the receiver position, but they have the most production. Making my point. There's something that is not congruent between the talent level and the production. You can see the Bengals right there. I don't know what Chase is going to do next year. The second year, sophomore slump for some. Second year for some is just like, hey, more continued greatness. I don't know, but that's the problem. I don't know what they're going to do. You got a lot of youngsters over there outside of Joe Mixon in terms of what they can do, but these are proven guys year in, year out when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. So I just think it's a weird correlation between where's your talent level and where's your production. Coming up, will a big Packers exit lead to Aaron Rodgers playing in Denver? It's just like Compton. We'll tell you if he should want to go to the Broncos next on Speak for Yourself. Most talented.
Get back to this. Denver Broncos made a huge move today. They hired offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Now, Hackett spent the last 3 seasons in Green Bay with none other than Aaron Rodgers. Denver already been in the mix as a possible destination for Rodgers if Rodgers decides to leave the Packers this offseason. So we got to bring in the greatest expert to talk Packers, one of the greatest Packers players in the history of the Packers history, NFL legend Greg Jennings. But Sal, got to go to you first.
Yes.
Should Rodgers want to follow his former coach, Nathaniel Hackett, to Denver?
No, he should not want to go to Denver because of Nathaniel Hackett. I think that Denver is a destination for any quarterback looking for a new home because of their roster and how it's constructed and how much talent they have on that roster. That said, let's look at this in a vacuum and say, oh, Nathaniel Hackett, you're going to be the reason that Aaron Rodgers, the great, is going to go to Denver? Nah, I can't do that, big dog. We all done had that conversation, that uncomfortable conversation with a homeboy. I was just a black man. It could be a white dude, too.
That
it's just
would not have sold.
Yeah.
That would not have sold.
Man, where you know, your boy looking at you, look, I got this good job with benefits, but he's like, yo, I got this idea, this startup. Yo, what's up? And I'm looking at Nathaniel Hackett like, you been a head coach before? Nah, you doing a startup over there then, because I don't know how you going to land in terms of this new title and this new role and how you going to perform. So there are exceptions, right? Like you just believe in them so much, you're like, man, I just can't live without them. So obviously, I'll give up this job with benefits to ride with you, Nathaniel. But that's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers shouldn't leave his company as he's the CEO of this same company that has won 13 games, 3 consecutive years. I am never leaving as the CEO of a great company for a first-time founder. Hell no, that's what's not going to happen. No exceptions. I'm sorry, Nathaniel Hackett. You got to go out there and prove yourself for me and for Aaron Rodgers before the great shall leave to Denver.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, Aaron shouldn't even want to. He shouldn't even consider it simply because, and this is not a knock on Nathaniel Hackett. Aaron Rodgers knows him best. He thinks he's a great quarterback, who he even spoke about earlier this season in saying that he believes that he would make a great head coach. Well, time will tell. But I guarantee the time that Aaron Rodgers is running with, it's not enough to see or tell whether or not he's going to make a good head coach or not, because he's at the end of his run and he wants to win now. And no better situation is better. I shouldn't say no better situation, but everything is laid up for him. It's about delivering where he is in Green Bay with the roster that is currently configured. Yes, can they bring back some pieces? Should they? Yes, all of those things are still up in the air. But one thing that should not be in the air is Aaron Rodgers wanting out.
Strong ending.
DJ, you want to change the conversation?
I'm like, strong ending. We don't get back to that. That's what you call a cliffhanger, a tease, and TV. No, Aaron Rodgers shouldn't want to follow Nathaniel Hackett for a different reason. The only reason he should not want to go there, Patrick Mahomes lies in that division. If you're Aaron Rodgers, think how unfortunate it is to have to realize I got to win 13 to 14 games annually just to get a guaranteed playoff spot. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to have to make sure I got to win 13 or 14 just to lock myself into the playoffs. That's the first thing. But, GJ, as I was really thinking about it, Aaron Rodgers can or should go to one of three places. Now, the first we just discussed, Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator these last 3 years. But remember who the offensive coordinator is for the Cleveland Browns. Somebody who was the offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers from 2012 to 2017, Alex Van Pelt. Another destination, or Aaron Rodgers could stay in Green Bay because Luke Getsy is going to more than likely be promoted from quarterback coach to offensive coordinator. So if Aaron Rodgers is looking around the league, you got your former OC who's a head coach in Denver, Nathaniel Hackett. You got your former OC who's now the OC in Cleveland, and Alex Van Pelt. And then you got a former QB coach who is likely going to be promoted to OC here in Green Bay. If I am Aaron Rodgers and you are looking at the destinations where you have connections, the destination that makes the most sense is the Cleveland Browns. That is what would be the wisest decision if Aaron Rodgers did want to go somewhere and continue a relationship that has already been built.
Yeah, man, I can't go out there and survive on your hope, and I'm hoping that you're going to be a great head coach. And I'll be, they say never. I'm saying never. I'm not going to do that. Not your first day on the job in a new role. And you know how head coaches get their job? It's so different than us athletes. We got to play Pop Warner, junior high, high school, college. And then they're like, oh, Greg Jennings, a tremendous receiver at the collegiate level. Let's put him at receiver at the pro level. And he gets to do the same damn job, right? Just on a different level. When you become a head coach from a coordinator, that's not the same job, y'all. Letting y'all know, like, they didn't go to the combine for that. They switched it up on y'all because he did well at the interview. I could lie to y'all for about 10 minutes and sell you on a lot of things that I can't do. And I'm not taking shots at you, Nathaniel Hackett. I'm taking shots at the process. So a bird in the hand, Green Bay, beats those two wishes in the bush. Talking about, I wish I get a new job and I wish I'm good at that new job. I don't know what your staff going to look like. I don't know how this situation's going to take hold. Hell no, I'm staying in Green Bay.
But Greg said Aaron Rodgers must leave Green Bay. Greg, I need you to expound and expand on that, big dog.
What you know?
No, so for me, it's not even that he must leave Green Bay. It's really, in my opinion, I don't know if it's going to be solely up to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if the Packers really want him back.
They firing?
Like everybody's making it seem.
They out there firing?
No, but I think but check me out. So if you think about their current situation, they can get so much more for a back-to-back MVP. A player that has obviously a lot left, but he's looming off these ideas of possible retirement. However, you can ship him out. You can grab some assets, and you will still have a fan base that will support that. You don't have to totally deliver a Super Bowl championship. That's been the expectation for the last 10 years. It hasn't happened with one of the best, who we call one of the best to ever do it in the National Football League. So how far would you really slip if Aaron's not under center? You can still trust that Matt LaFleur is going to deliver. He's proven that. I truly believe he has proven that. It is to be seen if Aaron's not under center, what his offense still continues to look like. But if they are able to hold on to some pieces, for me, it is about Aaron Rodgers ending his career the way that he wants to, and that is with a Super Bowl championship possibility. And his greatest chance to do that could be in Pittsburgh. It could be in Indy. It could be in Green Bay. We don't know. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I've been in this situation where it's like, man, I want to test the waters. They don't want me anymore. My feelings are a little touched. My relationships are a little flared. you know what? I might go and test some water somewhere else just because I believe I will be embraced, I will be adored, I will be appreciated a little bit more.
Gee, I just got to ask you this, because Sel and I went back and forth on this maybe 2 days ago, and this is really the only question that matters, especially for Packers fans. As a Packers fan, you're a Packers alum, but you got a little bit of fandom in you. You're human. Would you want Aaron Rodgers back after all the drama, but all of the letdowns as well? Ooh. Or are you done with the nonsense, done with the drama? If we ain't going to win a Super Bowl with you, we might as well start our move-on process.
If I'm being 100% honest, I'm torn as a fan because with all that drama, we still have not won. Yet, if he goes, I feel like as a fan, shoot, are we even competing for championships right out the gate? Yes, we would be a decent team, but are we competing for championships? And that's ultimately what this fan base has been excited about every single year when Aaron Rodgers is healthy and under center. And so for that, I can honestly say I'm torn as a fan because I want him to stay in green and gold, but yet I understand we need to move on and we got to see what our future is going to look like without Aaron Rodgers with the current guys we have on our roster and adding some additions.
Yeah, interesting. Nathaniel Hackett's gone. They're asking to speak to 2 other coaches on the Green Bay staff. How will that team look if they lose 3 coaches now to Denver? Like, are you serious? Is Green Bay really going to help Denver hurt them in this conversation as well? You could say different conferences, but it still all adds up to seeing each other potentially in the Super Bowl. Man, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm just telling Nathaniel, look, you're my dog. I respect you. All that love. My email's still the same, man. But go out there and get your stripes, homeboy. And we've all had that hard conversation, man. You may be just a little in front of yourself in terms of what this is. And if you're not, just go prove it. Then we're going to talk. Coming up, Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp. I have a lot of eyes on them this Sunday. But we'll tell you which player will have the bigger impact. That's next on Speed. Sunday's NFC Championship game on Fox will feature the 2 first-team All-Pro wide receivers, Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp. Kyle Shanahan said Deebo was, quote, playing like one of the best players in the NFL. And Sean McVay called them complete receivers who are, quote, dynamic with the ball in their hands. So, Acho, who will have the bigger impact Sunday, Deebo Samuel or Cooper Kupp?
Man, y'all know I love me some Cooper Kupp, but Deebo Samuel will have a bigger impact Sunday, and Deebo Samuel will likely have the biggest impact on the game Sunday because you have no idea where he is and when he will be there. You remember Where's Waldo? Well, the Niners got a little Where's Deebo going on because they manipulate where he is, and as a defense, you are constantly frustrated, upset, and angry. Remember the Niners played the Rams twice already this season. Look what happened in their Week 1 matchup. Deebo Samuel's a wide receiver, so you expect to see him at the wide receiver position. At the top of the screen, you see him highlighted against Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey lockdown cornerback. Okay, if Jalen Ramsey's on Deebo, Jimmy G's like, I'll just throw it to somebody else. Look at Jalen Ramsey. He locks up Deebo. Now he's a little frustrated. I can't speak for his frustration, but I can only imagine. I'm doing my job. I need y'all to do yours. Okay, next play. Next possession. Deebo Samuel's now in the backfield. Jalen Ramsey, you see at the top of the screen. Now he's guarding Brandon Ayuk, the receiver that just caught that pass to bring the Niners to the goal line. Oh, you're not going to be on me, Jalen Ramsey? I'll just hand the ball to Deebo and let Deebo do the rest of the work. Touchdown, game over at that point in time after they took a 2-touchdown lead. Deebo Samuel will make the biggest impact on the game because you literally have no idea where he is going to be. Rams fans ask themselves, put all-pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey on him. You can't do that because if you want to put Jalen Ramsey on Deebo Samuel and Deebo lines up in the backfield, now you have Jalen Ramsey playing linebacker, advantage Niners. Kyle Shanahan finds a way to always be able to say advantage Niners as long as he has Deebo Samuel. For that reason, I'm going with Deebo over Cooper Kupp. But let's ask the wide receiver, 2-time Pro Bowler, Greg Jennings, who you like, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, who's going to make a bigger impact in the game, big dog?
Well, as you stated, both of these players obviously are great, excellent at what they do, but Deebo Samuel will have the greatest impact simply because he has to. In order for this team to win, Deebo Samuel has to have the greatest impact out of any player that steps on the field on this coming Sunday night. When you look at the 49ers, their success is revolving around the success and the durability of Deebo Samuel, both as a wide receiver and as a running back. We haven't seen this before, but when you look at what he brings to the table, he brings that power, that physicality, yet that elusiveness at the receiver position, and he forces you to think defensively like you just played out. Where is he going to be? How are we going to cover him? Can we match him up with our best player? You can't really do that when you have a guy that's going to move in the backfield. He's going to be in the slot, number 3, number 2, number 1 outside. They cover him up in so many different ways. And when it's 3rd and 7 and you see him in the backfield and they need all 7, guess what he can do? Give you all 7. He has to have the greatest impact in this game in order for this team to win. I believe he will. I'm not sure they still win, but his impact will be felt.
Man, we're splitting hairs right here. I'm going to go on the other side of this fence right now, and I'm going to say it's Cooper Kupp. I think with Cooper Kupp, 2 things stick out. Look at this, where Cooper Kupp this year obviously led the league in catches and yardage, but the second most in receiving yards in NFL history versus Deebo Samuel, who had the most rushing touchdowns by a wide receiver this season. Y'all understand the difference in that? As Acho loves to say, I'd rather fly than drive. Think about that. In terms of targets, who's going to get more? Cooper Kupp. But I know the counter to that is basically Deebo Samuel is going to be everywhere and he could do everything. Yeah, but does it add up to what Cooper Kupp can do in production? So far, it's an argument to say that they split hairs in terms of who's had more production, who's done better. But now you know you're in the postseason, and you have to go to your diet. You have to go to what got you here. And Cooper Kupp is not something you got to force feed, not something that I don't really want to do. Cooper Kupp is the meat and potatoes of this offense. So you got to get him his touches, you got to get him his targets, or you're not going to have a great chance of winning. So this is not just a conversation of Deebo versus Cooper, but who are their super friends? Who's going to take the attention off of these individuals so that they can go out there and have the space to roam and to be productive? I like the collection of assets better with the Rams than I do when it comes to the 49ers. So that's why I give Cooper Kupp the edge.
So the difference, though, and now let's talk some real ball that the viewers going to love. If you're Cooper Kupp, you have to ask the question Marcellus just asked. Like, where are my other guys that can take some of the attention off of me? Greg Jennings, you've been a number 1 receiver for several years. You need some guys to take some of that attention off of you. If you're Deebo Samuel, you don't need a guy to take attention off of you. The attention is in your movement. The attention is in your obscurity. The attention is in the enigma of where you will line up on each and every play. Literally, there was an outcry from Rams fans, put Jalen Ramsey on Deebo. Jalen Ramsey is a cornerback. Deebo is a wide receiver. Jalen Ramsey is an all-pro. Lock him down. That's what you are, Jalen Ramsey. You're a lockdown corner, right? Problem. Greg, you notice. Put a lockdown corner on the wide receiver. That is the play call. Play call wherever Acho goes, Acho, you're a quarterback. Wherever Greg Jennings goes, Acho, you go. Sounds great. Hey, coach, what happens if Greg in the backfield? See, the problem, you don't practice that. Hey, fans, I'm going to tell y'all something water cooler stat. 9 weeks of the season, Deebo Samuel lined up at running back 7 times. Week 10 alone, Deebo Samuel lined up at running back 7 times. So who did Deebo Samuel play in Week 10? The Los Angeles Rams. Deebo doesn't need what Cooper Kupp needs, Sel, in the fact of Cooper needs Odell to get doubled. Cooper needs Tyler Higbee to get doubled. Cooper needs somebody else to attract attention from a safety so he can work in isolation. Deebo don't need that because Deebo can just hide in the backfield. Y'all can't really double me from the backfield. If you do, you got to double me with linebackers or maybe double me with the nickel back, but I won't get into all the X's and O's.
Okay, I didn't want to do this.
Go ahead, G.
Because I feel like I'm jumping. I agree. However, you start to cross the line when you talk about what Cooper Kupp needs.
Thank you. I wrote it down.
What the hell are you talking about? Because Cooper Kupp, I don't know if he need any of what you just mentioned because he is a baller. However, when you talk about where he's going to line up, we call it formation variation and disguising your guy, your main guy, and everybody in the arena will know Deebo Samuel is getting the ball. They have to go. Their offense thrives off of what he does with the ball in his hand and what he does just by simply being on the field. That's what both of these receivers bring. But Deebo Samuel, because of his impact, and you talk about whether would you rather fly or run or drive, I would rather fly. But at the same time, when you think about the amount of touches and the opportunities that Deebo Samuel will have, man, his ability and potential to impact the game shoots straight through the roof. That is the only reason why I believe he will have the greatest impact, because you got to go through him in order for you to win and be successful. You don't have to go through Kupp because they are better skilled all across the board, like you said, with the supporting cast.
Yeah, man, Cooper Kupp doesn't need that. He just has the luxury.
You don't need nothing.
I don't need jack. I just got the luxury of having that around me. But look, he's been doing this before Odell showed up. Robert Woods, and people were looking at Robert Woods like, is he really a number two? Is he? Cooper Kupp's going to get his, and that's the conversation I want to have. But he's going to get his because they have Odell there. He's going to get his because Sean McVay is going to scheme it where he's going to get his touches. He's going to get his because, as we learned in the game, whatever your greatest attribute is, and I had this conversation with Reggie Bush before, so I'm going to bring him up, which was his speed, right? Whatever your greatest attribute is, your greatest asset, you got to be able to set that up. Don't just lead with that greatest attribute and asset. You got to be able to set that up. Now I'm looking at Cooper Kupp going out there, and he's going to be able to set that up better than I think that Deebo Samuel and the 49ers will be able to set that up. What does that mean? Reggie Bush, I know you're going to try to outrun me, so I'm just going to do some simple geometry because I'm slower than you and change my angle, and I'm going to catch you. Simple as that. So what you got to do now is make me stop my movement and stop my thoughts and make you think, he about to run me over. Reggie Bush is about to go between the tackles. He's going to threaten me. All you got to do is give me that one moment. Now, all of a sudden, all that speed takes hold. All of a sudden, all that speed kicks in. But if you just go right to the edge, right to the sideline, not good enough. Cooper Kupp doesn't have formation variation to the same extent as Deebo Samuel. But have you ever seen Cooper Kupp in small spaces? You ever seen Cooper Kupp in the phone booth? You ever seen Cooper Kupp coming out them routes? Man, damn. Them dudes don't know what's going on because he is using their leverage against them. So I think just by that little edge, give it to Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, we're splitting hairs, but I'm just going to split the last one. We got to remember, first matchup, Deebo had more yards, and Deebo had one less touch. Deebo had more touchdowns. Second matchup, Deebo had 4 more touches, and Deebo had the same amount of touchdowns, and Deebo had more yards. We've seen this happen before. Now, y'all are right. This is worthless argument. Cooper Kupp had 136 yards the second matchup. Deebo had 140. We're splitting hairs of greatness. First matchup, Kupp had 122 yards. Deebo had 133. They both gonna ball. I think Deebo might ball a first down more, but G, go ahead. I ain't even tripping. Like, go ahead.
I ain't tripping.
Yeah, we're like Marcellus, you said it. We're splitting hairs. And the reason why we're splitting hairs because these players are so great. It is one of the reasons why both of their teams are about to meet for the third time, and no time is more important than this matchup right now. I will say this. I've played a team 3 times in a season, and I kind of had decent games against the Chicago Bears. That was the team. And then we got to the NFC Championship game when it all mattered. And right out the gate, we have installed some plays. We did not run them at all in the entire season. But we knew if we came up against this team, we got to have some special plays because they know us too well. They know what I'm going to do. That is what I'm concerned about for both of these sides. There's going to be something new that Sean McVay is going to present. And there's definitely going to be something new that we're going to see Deebo Samuel and Shanahan.
Did it work, though? Did the new plays work?
Did it work, though? Baby. I got that ring.
Okay.
You got that ring. I love it, GJ. You ain't got to rub it in either, GJ. You know the difference between GJ and Aaron Rodgers, other than a lot of things? One thing, you had some good plays against Chicago, and Aaron just says, I own them. Boy, you better say that with your chest, GJ. You know you own the Bears.
Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is staying in D-Town. Now, Quinn had several interviews for head coaching positions, but he decided to return to Dallas. He decided to return to the Dallas defense that he helped turn around, including a league-leading 34 takeaways. Woo! Dan Quinn. So, Sarah, what do you make of Dan Quinn sticking with them Cowboys?
Man, that Dan Quinn is a smart man who lives in a house full of mirrors. And I'm not trying to clown him. I'm saying that's a good thing because he looked himself in the mirror and realized, I'm not leaving here for two reasons. One, last time I was a head coach, in my 6 seasons, I had 3 losing seasons, only 2 winning seasons, and 1 season at 500. Let's not overwhelming results to the positive. I don't think Dan Quinn felt that way. His confidence still growing. And what's interesting about staying still as a coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys, that they will help your confidence grow as a head coach while being a coordinator. What do I mean by that? I mean that isn't his reputation getting better and better as a coordinator and his prospects and his opportunities growing just by being a coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah. If I'm him, I'm like, let's see how long this can go, how high this can grow. And more importantly, there may be some mobility at the top in this situation. How long is Mike McCarthy for this job in terms of if I'm Dan Quinn? So one, I already left before. I was somewhere else as a head coach. That didn't go so well. 2, I can just stay here and let y'all flatter me, let y'all flower me with all these roses, how great I will be as a head coach and live in your fantasy. And 3, maybe I'll stay still and become the head coach here. You never know, but smart man looking in the mirror.
What it means to me, retaining Dan Quinn was the best offseason acquisition the Dallas Cowboys will make this year, period. Talking to Mack Brown, Hall of Fame head coach, University of Texas for so long, now at North Carolina, he told me that his greatest recruit was in 1999 when he convinced Ricky Williams to stay for his senior year.
Good point.
His greatest recruit was not actually in a recruiting class. His greatest recruit was convincing somebody that was already a part of something to stay a part of something. Jerry Jones' greatest offseason acquisition will be retaining Dan Quinn because that was his greatest offseason acquisition last year. It wasn't drafting Micah Parsons, as great as Micah Parsons is and will be. It wasn't signing Dak Prescott to a long-term deal, as historically great as Dak Prescott has been for the Dallas Cowboys. It was Dan Quinn. Because Dan Quinn turned one of the worst defenses in sports to one of the greatest defenses in sports, at least as it pertains to taking the football away. And the football is the most important thing on the field. So for the Cowboys, this is monumental. But here's the conspiracy theory.
Oh, here we go. Look at you down in the Twilight Zone.
Dan Quinn, remember, is a native of New Jersey. Dan Quinn interviewed for the Giants head coaching job. Dan Quinn is looking at the Giants, which are a monumental and major franchise in sports. So what must have Dan Quinn been told or promised to not take a head coaching position?
Promised? Or you just think he's hopeful? What do you mean promise? Let's go with the conspiracy theory. Do you have something?
If I am Dan Quinn,
straight out of Jersey,
and I'm from Jersey, and the Giants have a head coaching vacancy, and they got a running back that's really good, but oft injured. Oh, Cowboys got a running back that's pretty good, but he was injured. They got a young quarterback who's developing. Oh, Cowboys got a young quarterback, but a great quarterback.
Okay, that ain't developing.
The Giants got some receivers who we've invested in. Cowboys got some receivers that have been invested in. Why would Dan Quinn not take the Giants job unless he was promised something? I don't know, maybe a head coach in waiting type of position for the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all better read between the lines now. Dan Quinn, nobody does favors in the National Football League.
That's real.
Nobody does favors. So if Dan Quinn is staying in Dallas, it's not because he's doing the Cowboys a favor.
Okay.
If Dan Quinn is staying in Dallas, a favor is being done for him.
I can run with you, but then a lot of times when you chase a conspiracy theory, you be mad at yourself like, damn it, it wasn't that damn deep. It wasn't that damn deep. It was this simple. Dan Quinn is like, yo, they keep giving me more love staying still. Why not stay still and get more love? The longer we're retired up here, I don't know if you notice this dynamic, I become a greater defensive end. Unless I show Dallas Cowboys clips like I did earlier in the show. But the more I talk, the more people think I was great back then. And I'm not doing that same thing. Same with Dan Quinn. He's a coordinator. People forgetting how he was this as a head coach and now giving him all this love and praise. Acho, stay at this desk long enough. You're going to be a Hall of Famer in the football league. I'm trying. I'm getting closer. Coming up, the 49ers are on a hot streak against the Rams. We'll tell you if Sean McVay kept it 100. With his response to just 99. Next, don't speak for yourself.
98th ballot Hall of Famer.
On this show, we only know how to keep it 100, but others keep it 99. So each day, we're going to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point, the 49ers won 6 straight games against the Rams. Sean McVay was asked if Kyle Shanahan is in his head. Listen.
Is Kyle in your head at all, in terms of trying to get past these guys?
No. What I do have is respect for these guys. They've done a great job. Kyle's an excellent coach. They got great players, great coaches, good schemes, and so it's why they're in the NFC Championship.
Acho, is Sean McVay keeping it 100 or 99?
No, he's keeping it 99. He's lied to himself so many times, however, that he believes it is now the truth. Obviously, everything he said was truthful, but I do think in the back of his head, he knows Kyle Shanahan is somewhere in his head.
He keeping it 100 in terms of what he said, but he keeping it 99 because of his response in terms of that pause. How insulting of a question was that? As a competitor, as a coach, you sit there and say, is somebody else in my head? He wanted to go there, but he didn't go there. That was professionalism at its finest. That's it for us. Fox Bet Live is next.